All right. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone. We are back. So I had to restart the live, okay? And the reason why is because there was Zakithi. How are you, Zakithi? Maverick, how are you? Andrea, I see you. Tony, I see you. Ayana, Yemima, Bonzigia. Yemima, I think we was talking. Was it you on TikTok or not? I feel like it was you on TikTok the other time, Yemima, or maybe not. So the previous live was stopped. That is because there is guidelines on this platform. And one of the commenters, wrote something inappropriate that is not accepted. It's not acceptable. You know, this is a public platform. So when a person comes in and writes a useless comment, I see you, Leslie. So when a person comes in and writes a useless comment that is against the guidelines, so YouTube automatically can step in, okay? So those are like guidelines that YouTube puts in place to make sure that they protect the masses. Thank you, Michael. A restriction. So there are some restrictions on YouTube. Basically, if the YouTube has got these, what do they call them? They're like, it's like some, what do they call them? It's like, I don't know what's the name of that thing. They're like automatic detectors. So they kind of keep a look and keep a watch on the content. Thank you, Leslie. They keep a watch on the content so that they make sure that the content doesn't, because I've told you there's terms and regulations. So when the person comes in and maybe you could call them moderators, but I think they also have these, what do they call it? They're like artificial programs inside YouTube. So they keep on monitoring different platforms to see that, you know, the right content is getting out and, you know, people are not using abusive or sometimes explicit stuff, things like that, you know, stuff like that. So they kind of monitor those things. So that live, I ended that live because there was, I don't know who it was, something potato, that was in the comments and wrote something that is not, that is inappropriate. So when the YouTube senses those kind of statements or content, it can flag the live or even sometimes the channel. So that's why I had to end that algorithm. So I had to end that live and restart again, okay? So that's the reason why I went off that live. So guys, give us that like, give us like the like, give us the likes, tap the screen, guys, tap the screen, reactions, 49 people, 14 likes. We can do better than that, guys. We can do better than that. Chosen ones. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I see you guys. I hear you. I feel you. The super chat, thank you. I am captioned art, thank you. So you see, that's one of the things with this content. So basically, some people don't understand that on YouTube, there is kind of like guidelines, okay, that we have to follow as creators. Yeah, we follow as creators. And you know, when a person comes in and they're writing a lot of stuff, unnecessary things. So I will at the end of the video, I'm going to do some editing and I will put the right title that we need to be talking about. The previous title, you guys have been here, so you saw the previous title, something about the star, you know, destiny swapping. It's something connected along those lines that we want to talk about today. So when the video is finished, I will go and do some editings, and I will be able to I'll put the right one at the end of the video, so don't worry about it. I just put chosen ones because I want us to start straight away. We cannot just be going on and on and on. Hey, I see you guys coming in. Kentari, greetings. Amanda, how are you? Amanda. Yemima, I was trying to find out. Where are you from? Yemima Bonziji. That name sounds like somewhere along the... Oh, was it Haiti, Yemima? Or was it Rwanda, Burundi? You like my beard? Ah, RDC. You're from RDC. Okay. I think I have a feeling that one day you was on I think on TikTok, one of those days, with me, you know, and you're from Syria. I am Syria. So, let me see. All right, so Louisiana. Amanda from Louisiana. Oh, you're not on TikTok, okay. New sub, thank you for subbing. Thank you for the sub, thank you for the sub. I think I will need a moderator, guys. Guys, I need a moderator on this channel. Yeah, I need a moderator. Maybe one or two. Because as you see, I cannot keep on monitoring all these. Quab is coming. It's coming on. Pub gives is coming. So I need a moderator. So sometimes I need somebody to help me check out, you know, the comments and what's going on in the, especially in the comment section, to see that we don't have these weirdos. We can call them weirdos for now. Just bear with me, guys. I'm here, still here. So you know those weirdos, they get bored very quickly. And sometimes they're watching the wrong content. So it's the reason why I need some moderators. So if you're a member, now the moderator has got to be a member. First of all, you need to be a member of the channel, okay? If you want to moderate, make sure that you have got channel membership. then I can add you on the moderator. So sometimes you can help me with comments. You know, when you see those useless comments, you can help me to delete or block some of these people, the weirdos. All right. We have people from New Zealand. That is Owen Johnny of the Anointed. So basically what happens on these channels, many creators, what we struggle with day to day, we have a lot of weirdos. They just come around and they start writing everything. They can write, you know, they don't even know what they are writing. Some of them have no idea what we are saying. So they come and they intoxicate or they infect the comment sections. So it's why you guys have to, if you want to moderate, Denzo, what's up? Everybody who is commenting, remember, number one, very important to be polite. It's very good to be polite, respectful, and non-abusive. Don't be abusive on the comment section, okay? Don't try to come around and attack other people writing a lot of these things. Easy, nice flow. You guys know what I'm talking about, okay? It makes the video good for everybody. We enjoy the lives and the interactions and everything. So if you want to moderate, like I've said, first of all, get membership. Then I'm able to add you on the moderator. So let's say, for example, when I have a live, you can help me to check out the live, what's happening, you know. You can go to the live and you can see the comments. So you get the right, you can actually delete comments or you can block people on my behalf when because sometimes I'm talking and I cannot watch everything. I cannot see everything that is coming in. So the moderators just keep on going through and seeing what's happening, and they can block some people, remove, get out the bots, the weirdos. Now, I pretty much don't want to talk about narcissists today. This video, I don't really think it's going to be about narcissists. We might be just touching different other subjects. Okay, chosen ones. So you know if you're not a narcissist. You do know that a lot of many empaths actually, I've been asked that question many times, and I think I had that question for myself at one point, a couple of years ago when I woke up. So when you've been with a narcissist, I'll just give a little bit of insight here and there, then we shall go to the main topic. When you've been with a narcissist, it is very easy to be infected with that energy. You know, energy exchange. You sleep with them, you eat with them, you fight around and all this water, trauma, everything. So basically what happens, you can catch up on their behavior. And you could also have been a toxic empath. There are some empaths that are toxic. You know, a person can be an empath but is toxic. Unhealed empath can also be a toxic empath. So when I've been with a narcissistic individual, it is very obvious that you will catch up on a lot of narcissistic tendencies, because you'll be watching what they're doing. Sometimes, you know, you are learning from them. They are showing you different things. And of course, we already understand that narcissists are dysfunctional. Okay? It's like, for example, when you're working in a mine, by the time you get out of the mine, the mines, you know, talking about the mines, you're all going to be messy and dirty. You know, if you're working in the oil rig, you're going to get out of the oil rig covered in oil and all those kind of things, because that's what it is. It's the same thing with narcissistic abuse, but on a different energetic level. So you will get better with them, okay? They will teach you things, dysfunctional behaviors and patterns. So when you get out, most of the times you are going to notice. So I did a video and I called that video, The Narcissist Stole Your Identity. So the narcissist is after your identity. In most cases, you are going to look at yourself in the mirror and you will think that you're the narcissist. In some case scenarios, you could even physically be looking like the narcissist, especially if you have been with them for a very long time. You could even start looking like them. Your behaviors will change, your patterns will change, everything, personality. Sometimes people will meet you and they can barely recognize you because they think that you're not the narcissist. No, you're not the narcissist. A narcissist lacks empathy. That is number one. For you to know that you're not the narcissist, even if you're a toxic individual, you have got very high degrees of empathy. You have got a certain level, a very high level of empathy. Regardless of whether you're toxic or not, you have empathy. So you have that thing. It's like a limit. It's like a stop button. You can feel like, okay, so this thing, I cannot continue with this thing, and you will stop it and you will draw back. And you will empathize with another individual. So you will know, because an empath is someone who can actually put themselves in somebody else's place, shoes, so they can wear somebody else's shoes just to feel how they feel. They can put themselves in somebody else's situation. So if you can do that, you have the ability to do that genuinely. It's not something you're faking. You don't fake it, genuinely. And you can put yourself in somebody else's position. Then you're not a narcissist in every way, shape or form. You're not a narcissist. And another thing is a cycle. So if you are kind of like, you keep on experiencing, if you find yourself having very toxic patterns and they keep on recurring, and you can almost don't break out of that cycle, because the narcissists, they just repeat cycle. They just recycle their behavior and their patterns from one individual to another. So if you're a person who, cannot break that cycle, and it has been carrying on for pretty much most of your life, as long as you remember, you cannot just seem to get out. It's like a loop. You cannot get out of that loop, a cycle, abusive cycle, toxic cycle. Then you're not a narcissist. A narcissist cannot break that cycle, okay? It is something that stays with them forever. They live all their lives like that, and that's how they end up in life. So if you have empathy, you're not a narcissist. If you can feel what other people are feeling, you are able to to place yourself in somebody else's shoes, you're not a narcissist, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. The only thing you should be worried about is healing. You should be able, and you should already have started the healing on yourself, because if you ask yourself, when you find yourself asking yourself the question, if you're the narcissist or not, then you have to know there is some healing work has got to be done. Okay, you have to start the healing work. That means that you're starting to recognize a lot of toxic cycles, toxic behaviors on yourself, about yourself. And you have to do the healing, okay? So take some time to heal. I don't know what healing means for you. I do sessions with healing sometimes with people. So if you don't know how to do it, you can book with me and we can go through the healing stuff. That question was from who? Was it from Robert? Who was asking that question? Was it Robert or what? So anyone that wants to do the healing and you don't know where to start, my videos, if you guys have noticed, my videos are very elaborate. I give you very detailed information in every video that I make. So a person who is open to learning, they can even start with the videos. you don't even necessarily have to book with me a session. You can just start with my videos, because the videos already hold the frequency. Because you see, this is a frequency. It's not about the words that I speak. It's not about the messages or whatever. It's the frequency. So when you can actually embody that frequency, your healing can start. Because the frequency that I'm putting out, in its own, is enough to break the entire cycle, to break you out of the cycle. So your body now is open to healing, you see? But then sometimes it can be, you could be coming from a very traumatic experience, and sometimes you don't know where to start. So maybe that's when you can now, we can go through different things, and you can also have a very personal situation that maybe I don't talk about on my channel. Everybody has got their own things that maybe sometimes I don't cover them in the videos. Then now you can book with me, and we can just go through your own personal situation, and I will see what you need to do, and I can point in the right direction. But the videos, I give a lot of information. They are really, really. I think I have a feeling I need to turn off this gas, because I could get carried away. Let's just turn it off and. Somebody was asking what I'm just trying to make something to eat. Remember, guys, respect. Don't use abusive stuff in the comments. Be respectful. If you can hit for me that like button, if you can share, if you can comment, super chat. Your energy is contagious. Is that me, Zakithi? Is that my energy? Is that me you're talking about? You see, so Maverick says, when you question that, if you find yourself asking yourself the question, if you're a narcissist, there's a very big chance you are not. There's a very big chance you're not. And then, but if you lived with narcissistic parents, you might have narcissistic traits. That is very true. Even with a relationship, not only parents, even if you have been with a narcissistic partner or whatever, and you've been in a relationship, you can have a lot of narcissistic traits. It's very possible. Okay? Tell them, Owen, Jenny, tell them to give me some likes, yeah? Guys, give me some likes. Spiritual awakening, there's a lot of shifts happening in the body. I've done some videos on spiritual awakening. I don't know if you have seen them. Signs that you are spiritually awake, signs of spiritual awakening. You can just search that in my videos, signs of a spiritual awakening, signs you are going through a spiritual awakening. Yes, you will have sometimes physical symptoms in the body, the body is trying to reset. It's like your body is recalibrating. How do you know? You guys are actually asking very important questions, Some of these questions can even, I'm going to go through them, and I may even have to do a whole video on them. So, how can you know when you're about to finish your isolation season? When you're about to end your isolation season, basically, around that time, you will notice that you have almost, you may not have fully, but almost found your purpose. Because isolation is something that is triggered by the universe to put you in a corner so that you can detox okay? Heal, detox, do some introspection and focus inwards, because, when you're all over the place, out and about, your energy is being entangled in so many different scenarios, and sometimes you can fail to focus on yourself. You might even forget that you have to do some healing on yourself because you're always distracted. But when you have been in that isolation stage, towards the end, you will feel like you finally know what you need to do. You've done the self-reflection, you've done even some healing on yourself, you have found something you're passionate about, and you have even sometimes stepped into that passion of yours, whatever passion it is you might have. So that's when now you feel like your body is demanding you to be a little bit out. You're very curious, because you see, sometimes the isolation can go on for years. A person can be in isolation for even 2 years, a year, maybe 2, depending on which area you are and whatever is going on in your personal life. But towards the end, so you get that feeling like, okay, you're curious. You want to be out there. You want to see what's going on out there. You want to catch up a little bit. Not in the same way that you used to, because you see, you could have had a different type of interaction a couple of years ago when you started your isolation. But towards the end, you are like curious what is changed. Sometimes you might find yourself walking around old neighborhoods. It could be old places that you used to go, you used to like, and you want to see the vibe. You want to see if your body actually still can catch up with that vibe. And in most of the cases, many people have even done that. So let's say, for example, during your isolation, you could have quit, let me say, drugs, or you could have quit alcohol. And it's been 2 years, you haven't had a beer. You haven't had any alcohol with those two. You've been very seriously working on yourself. So at the end, you may be a little bit curious. So you're now thinking what used to drag you to the bars and drinking all that stuff. So sometimes you may be like, okay, so what does it feel like? Even if I just try, you may even sometimes find yourself going to catch a beer. And you may actually get that beer, but when you drink it, you're going to notice that your body no longer resonates with that frequency. You may even fail to finish just one beer. So you're going to notice that you're a very different person. You're curious, and sometimes you're going around old spots, because of course you're still in the same neighborhood. For example, you may find yourself visiting old territory, not often, but sometimes you may pass around old territory and you feel how your spirit resonates with that territory, with those things you used to do, with the places, sometimes even the people. So at the end of isolation, you are curious and your body is like pushing you a little bit out. Let's go out and put this knowledge, these things we've learned into practice. Let's go and explore the world. But this time you're going to do it in a different way. You may actually have developed interests in so many different things. You may have been curious during that period that, at one point I want to start maybe working out. At one point I want to start such and such a business. At one point I want to do this. So you have thought about so many directions you want to go. And you're very curious. At the end of that isolation, you feel like something is pushing you out of the house. Let us go now and explore. We have been learning things. We've been working on ourselves. Let us go and put this energy into practice. So that's the kind of energy you will feel when the isolation is getting to the end. But also another sign can be when you're when you're about to get close to finish your isolation. You might, in some case scenarios, this may not be for everybody. In some case scenarios, you might experience some people. Many years ago, you used to talk with some people, it could be workmates, family members, or maybe friends, and you have not had contact with those people for a very long time. For some reason, towards the end of the isolation, they are kind of trying to pop back in. So they are kind of trying to message you. They are kind of trying to sneak back in. You may get random texts from people. Hey, it's been years. How have you been doing and everything? So you may sometimes notice that kind of little interaction, text, email, maybe even phone calls from very, very old people, old friends that you haven't seen in years, So there's that energy of like, people are kind of curious about you because you've been lost for a while, and everybody has been wondering what's been going on, what have you been doing. So they are kind of trying to get back into your energy. They are slowly gravitating back towards you, not in a very major way, but you can see the signs that, these people, they are showing you that they miss you and everything. So the universe is also testing you. Because the universe is like, okay, so we've been working together. We've been working on yourself. So what do you feel about that old friend for 2 years ago, the one who used to go clubs, check out the girls and the drinks and everything. That friend, are you still into that energy? Do you still want to connect with those people? So the universe is sometimes tricking you and sending you these people sometimes, just like a test. You're being tested. Are you over that chapter of your life, or are you still like one foot there, one foot there? So the universe is testing you a little bit. So you're going to get those scenarios as well when you're ending the isolation stage. But anyway, like I've said, there's questions that have been coming in here, and there's questions that actually I'm going to do videos. Sometimes when you give me these questions, they may give me an insight of what is going to be my next video, I have some friends. Tish, yes, I have not a lot, maybe 2. Maybe could be like 3 of them. I know some empaths that, every now and then we could catch up and stuff. A lot of them is just phone calls and, catching up online, but I have some friends that I can catch up physically. And that would be a good thing, to find some like-minded people who share the same energy with you, and, you can sometimes catch up and go for a drink. Is what I've said, guys. Sometimes even in the comments, I've told you guys, if you just write what city you're from, you may find that there's another person from your town, and you guys can even email each other, If you say where you're from, you can be from Florida. There's another person in the comment from Florida. You guys can catch up. Maybe there could be a lot of things that you guys can talk about, There could be somebody from your town, Mindy, I see you. Leslie, patience. One step at a time. Don't try to rush this whole healing thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't try to rush healing. You see, I've been asked many times, people have been asking me, how long does it take to heal, So for me, when I was healing, I didn't give myself a time frame. I never woke up and said, okay, I'm going to do this healing. It must be done in 6 weeks. It must be done in 2 months. It must be done in 6 months. I didn't give myself time. So what I did, because when you're healing, there's a lot of things that you're working on. You're working on your self-esteem. You're working on self-love. You're working on traumas. You're working on your shadows. You're working on so many things. And you cannot do those things at one time. If you do those things at one time, your body will even collapse because they will overwhelm you. So me, what I used to do, I used to handle one thing at a time, because back in the years, I used to have very low self-esteem. You guys have been with narcissists, and sometimes one of the things you will deal with, you will struggle with is self-esteem. They beat you down to that degree whereby you start to feel like you have very low self-esteem. You kind of don't even trust yourself. You know what I mean? It's something that I was working on, and it was something that was very difficult for me. So I think for me, when I started this thing of creating videos, it also helped me with self-esteem. So many of you guys, the ones that have been with me from the beginning, you know how I used to struggle with the camera. I was always camera shy and this and that. I was struggling because I was not sure that I was enough, because the narcissists, they want you to believe that you're not enough. The whole world is laughing at you, they want always you to have that energy that everything is wrong about you, is what they want you to believe. So when you leave them, you struggle with that. And some of you guys have been with narcissists and they have told you, when you leave the relationship, nobody else will love you. I'm the only one for you. So doesn't matter where you want to go, nobody will hear you, nobody is listening, so that kind of stuff. But when you leave, it's always going to be ringing in your mind. Nobody loves you. Nobody wants you. And then now you have to work on that. You have to it's like, one of the things I've noticed with narcissistic abuse, the narcissist leaves you very deep in the pit. So you're climbing back, and every climb you make is very painful, is what it looks like when you're healing. Every climb you make is painful because you're very deep in the pit and you're climbing back to the light. You see what I mean? So sometimes, like I've said, you are working at one thing. You may start with self-esteem. And then I remember also I started doing the self-love. So what I did at the time that helped me, I used the self-love affirmations, the things I love about myself and how to actually love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. There is so many empaths that don't know how to love themselves. You only think that the love is outside of you. You have to go somewhere to find the love. You never actually knew that the love was inside of you. So when you're healing, you start to realize that you actually need to learn first of all, because you see, when you are a person that knows how to fully love yourself, and this is something that is very difficult for people to understand, the love is actually reflected outside of you. I just done a video today. That love is also, it manifests outside of you because you already learned how to love yourself. So it manifests outside of you. Is how this whole thing works. So the healing, I'm saying, is a very long process. But to see results, like in a very major way, it will take you at least a year. When you've been this is like really seriously healing. In about a year, you will start to see some results. You start to feel good about yourself. You'll be like, okay, I'm not where I used to be. Even if you see that you're not where you want to go, where you want to be, but you will know that you're not where you used to be. And another thing, what I've seen, very difficult thing with the healing process. In the beginning, especially when it comes to narcissistic abuse, in the beginning, you're going to struggle. Your body is going to struggle to release the narcissist. You're really going to struggle to release the narcissist. The energy is very intense. So sometimes you're going to feel like there is something pulling you back. It's like a very strong energy you cannot explain. Something is pulling you back emotionally. It's why you hear people, they go discard, hoover, discard, hoover. They are discarded, 1 week they're hoovered. Discarded, 1 week they're hoovered. They keep on that cycle going back and forth because there is an energy that is pulling you. So there is that energy. It's very difficult to explain for somebody who hasn't gone through it. But you feel like that very terrible, is like a gaping hole. It's like something like a blank space that is somewhere there and it needs to be filled and there's nobody else to fill it. You are very desperate. So you feel like an emptiness. It's a very scary feeling of emptiness. And energetically you feel the person that you left behind is the one supposed to fill that space. But actually that is not true. It is your mind playing tricks on you. So in those first 3 months, maybe even up to 6 months, you are going to be struggling with that energy. Something is pulling you back. You want to go back. Your body is pulling you back, but your soul is struggling. Your body is pulling you back. Your soul. So you are like in the middle, back and forth. And then after some time, the energy starts to leave. You start to say, okay, now I'm okay. I'm feeling good. That person is gone. Nothing else to do with them. Your body starts to accept this situation. But that is, I think, one of the most difficult places to be for the empath, because the empath is a person who feels very deeply, and the narcissists use this thing against you because you feel very deeply, so they use those feelings against you. They trauma bond you, and then they start to abuse you and destroy you because they know that however much you guys want to break up or you want to leave them, they always know that you're going to circle back and come back into their energy. So it's energetic. This thing is energetic. You see what I mean? So I see you guys rolling in. I see you guys. Thank you, Leslie. So that is a very powerful comment from Dasuzi. Dasuzi is going through a divorce and saw the knock after 2 years. So that is a sign that you have healed. You see, one of the things the ways that you will know that you have really healed is when you meet your ex-narcissist and you no longer feel anything. There is like, you've been so seriously focused on working on you, whereby even when you meet them, it's like sometimes meeting another regular individual in town. When you walk around and you just meet somebody randomly in town, that's how it feels when you are healed from a narcissist. And the narcissists, they feel that energy. They feel it like, oh, this person has healed. because they no longer can, there's no more energetic cords between you guys. You have already severed the cords, and they can feel like you are actually emotionally detached from them. You're giving them like flat faces, empty laughs, easy smiles, like nothing, no attachment. You can even just meet them and you can have a conversation and you don't feel nothing. You don't feel nothing. You're not worried. You're not even asking what they are doing. You're not bothered with anything. It's a sign of healing. And that is a good way, is what I've told you guys. When you're preparing to divorce a narcissist, it's very, very important to wait. You give yourself at least 2 years. 2 years until you start to process the divorce. 2 years. So you get away separation, go through the separation, and then during that time, it helps you to do the healing. After 2 years, then now you can start to do the legal process to divorce them, because that is how it's going to be easy for you. Instead of you running out today, and then you're going to be running around with divorce papers, calling the lawyers, signing documents and this and that, and you are paining at the same time, you're still healing the trauma. Is very painful. For the empaths, I give you advice. Do what this member did. Take some time, at least 2 years. And then now in that process, you can do the divorce. It is going to be easier because your body is detached emotionally. You don't feel anything. You can process these things without getting emotional and getting too attached to them. You know what I mean? When you have a spiritual awakening and the devil dancing around your atmosphere, yes, when you're awakened, there is something you have got to know. The other one is very, very important. When you're awakened, the devil sends reinforcements. They call them reinforcements, Whether you want to look at it from a spiritual perspective, or whether you want to look at it from a mental or maybe from a matrix perspective, there's going to be reinforcements. So these entities, they wasn't expecting you to wake up. That was the whole plan. From the beginning, it was the whole arrangement that you should not wake up, because when you wake up, you remember. And the devil doesn't want you to remember. So the moment they start to see that this person is awakened, something is triggered. I've done a video and I've told you. Your awakening triggered something in the spiritual realm. Your awakening set off an alarm. That was the name of the video. Your awakening set off an alarm in the spiritual realm. And these entities know that you have awakened. So what they do, they are going to send in reinforcements. So now, like this member is saying, the devil is sending around these narcs, witches, warlocks. They're going to come in and they're going to be different. It's going to be a completely different version of the ones you've dealt with before. So let me give you an example. For example, you have dealt with a narcissist a couple of years ago. You awaken. The devil is going to send in a greater narcissist. Maybe it's going to be a witch. It could be a warlock. It could be a coven. It could be anybody, but somebody who is a little bit more advanced. So from a spiritual language, I could say high-ranking demon. Because I've told you these other ones, they are not like these low, mid-range, lower listeners. No. They are a little bit on a different rank. Because they are coming in to finish their assignment. So for me, when I awakened, like I've told you, I've been sharing this thing many times in my videos. And I've told you, when I awakened, I started seeing a lot of them around. Every now and then I would walk around, they would come in. They kept on coming in, but I was very aware of everything. But then, one that caught me off guard was the spiritual narcissist. So for many of you guys who don't know who the spiritual narcissist is, that is the one who actually integrates their narcissism with spirituality. So they are both narcissists and spiritualists at the same time. So those ones, they are very powerful and effective. That's why they call them high-ranking demons. It's a different level of demons. So that one, it came in. It caught me off guard because I was not expecting it. But fortunately, I was, my ancestors were with me. God was with me. I was able to figure it out earlier. But if I didn't figure it out in time, I do not know what would have happened, because that was a very terrible experience as well. So that thing, it lasted about maybe 3.5 months, and it was off. The moment I discovered the red flags, I could see the red flags. I was like, okay, I see that one. I know that. I know the pattern. And sometimes I would ask this narcissist, I said, that thing that you're doing, I've seen it before. That thing you're doing, I've seen it before. You're overthinking or what, you're too sensitive. Then they would do another one. So me, I'd already learned, because you see, I'd been educating myself about abuse. So when I started to see the red flags, I was like calculating one at a time. I said, I know that one. The silent treatment, that's familiar. The ghosting, that's familiar. The greed. And then there's that thing, what do they call it? The need for attention. You know, sometimes you go in a place and, you know, they want to be seen all over the place. They're the one, they want to be seen. They're on the top of the show. So I saw all those red flags. And then eventually I was like, no, this is a different knack. I was out of it. So the reinforcements come in because the devil understands when you're awakening, you're going to be healing and you're going to start your ascension journey. And the devil doesn't want you to do that. So the reinforcements keep coming in. Sometimes you may run into witches, real serious witches. There are some of them recently I've dealt with, you know, quite a while ago. There's a couple of witches, you know, this is a coven of witches. So there's going to be different levels for everybody, but you best believe that it's going to be happening on a different level. So you're going to be battling a different type of warfare this time. Because when you're awakened, it is going to take a lot of energy to put you back to sleep. So the ones that are coming in, the reinforcements which is coming in, the intention is to trigger you to get back to sleep, to scare you to go back to sleep. Because you see, I've told you that these demons feed off of your trauma. When you awaken, you are healed enough to work on your traumas. So now the demons cannot feed anymore because you have already healed your traumas. The things that used to scare you, the fear, all that kind of thing, all that energy, low vibrational energy, you clean that, all that low vibrational energy out of your field. So these demons can no longer feed on you feed off of you because you have healed all those traumas. That's what they was using to keep you bound in that energy. To keep you from, first of all, awakening, seeing the truth, awakening, and then ascending to become your highest self. So you've already done that work. And that is why they send in reinforcements, because they want to put you back in that state whereby they would continue to feed off of your traumas. You know what I mean? Your wounds, that energy. They like that kind of energy whereby, especially for the empath, you know, you are there traumatized, you're too scared of everything, or you can't go out of the house because this one is following. No. That kind of BS doesn't work like that. So the demons don't want those things. So yes, they will try. You are going to be tested, chosen one. This is one of the things I've always told you. You really are going to be tested by the universe. The universe is going to send different tests at you. You're protected. This one is no doubt about it. You're protected. I've told you many times. You're always protected. But still, for you to become the warrior that you're meant to be, you have got to pass certain tests. And those tests are going to be tough ones. They're going to be tough ones. You know, the universe, sometimes I've seen many times people ask me, oh, but if God loves me, why did he send all these nurses and everything? Those were tests. You was in the battlefield. That was your battlefield. So you was being trained for the greater picture, for the greater purpose. So when you conquer one level, you know these video games. You guys, you know where we were playing with the Matrix. It's a video game. So you conquer one level, you elevate to the next one. You conquer the one, you elevate to the next one until you become a spiritual warrior, okay? The one that has battled all levels of demons. So it's why I've told you sometimes you're going to be, first of all, finish with the narcissist, the greater one will come in. The greater one leaves, the psychopath come in. I've battled with all of those ones, okay? The sociopath will come in. The warlocks, the wizards, the witches will come in. The covens, you know? You're going to be battling one level after the other one, and you have been given the anointing to conquer all those battles. Anybody that has gone to war, you fully understand that it's very difficult to be at the battlefield. It's very traumatic to be at the battlefield. You know, there's bullets flying around and these people is for different noises and what, you can't sleep, and it's hard to be on the battlefield. So you are in the battlefield. But it's a different type of battlefield for you. It's more happening on a spiritual level. And every entity that appears you encounter is going to be a different level of demon, okay? You battle one, you finish, go to the next one. You battle the other one, you go to the... So it's going to be levels to this whole thing. Even in video games, you finish one level, you go to the level 2. You battle the level 2, you go... So the higher you elevate, and you conquer one battle, you go to the next one. So basically, you're going to experience, you're facing a different battle altogether. So it's going to be different things you're dealing with, different challenges, and you're going to be guided how to go about all those challenges, okay? But this is not something you have to be afraid of. Guys, one of the things you need to realize, empaths, fear is a frequency. The reason why you're battling with these demons, they are trying to make sure that they can keep you in that frequency. Anything they can do to traumatize you, you know, anything they can do to traumatize you is why they are sending all these different levels of witch, sorcery, witchcraft, black magic, voodoo, and anything they can do to keep you in that state. You were scared. Oh, this one is doing black magic on me. That one's, who cares? It will not work. When you're chosen, I best guarantee you it will not work. Yes, there's cases whereby you're going to be delayed. But in most cases, God is also using you in that battlefield to train you so that you understand. Because you see, as a chosen one, you have got a mission. Whatever you think your mission is, it is spiritual. It is divine. And for you to be able to step fully into that mission, you have got to win some battles. Okay? It's how this whole thing works. That's how this whole matrix works, ladies and gentlemen. It's how the simulation goes. You have got to win some battles before you elevate to the next level. For you to step fully into your divine mission, you have got to pass through some stages. You cannot go to school and you jump from level 1 to level 6. You're going to go through all the levels. You get the exam, you pass, okay, go to level 2. Did you pass that exam? You go to level 3, like that, until you reach the stage. Is what they call spiritual ascension. You ascend, but for you to ascend, you don't just wake up one day and you're in level 6. You have got to battle and win all the stages until you reach that elevation. So the reinforcements you are experiencing that are coming in, those reinforcements, what they are doing, basically, like that member of ours, the one that has just written that comment. So the reinforcements that are coming in post-awakening, they are coming in to frighten you so that you can go back into your lower frequencies, because that's where they wanted you to be. But you're refusing to go back into those lower frequencies because you want to ascend. You cannot ascend when you're still when you're still embodying lower frequencies. You need to battle first, do the healing, whatever, go to the next level. But you have, in that stage, there's going to be a lot of confrontations with different levels of these demons, okay? So one of the things I've noticed with chosen ones, the universe is going to allow you. See, I've told you guys you're guarded, you're protected, you're divinely protected, I've told you. But there is something you need to understand how divine protection works. The universe may allow the devil to test you. Even in the Bible, you guys, the Bible scholars, you know, Jesus was tested by the demons. This Satan, when Satan came and told Jesus that, oh, if you're the Son of God, can you jump? I think that was something like that. We Bible scholars, how did that thing go? If you're the Son of God, can you jump? Because, you know, the angels will hold you. So the devil was testing Jesus. How far can you jump if you're the Son of God? You say that you're the Son of God. Can you jump? Those kind of things. That time when Jesus was in the, I think it was during the fasting and something like that. So, yes, God will allow some tests to come your way. And sometimes it's not going to be from the people that you know. No, it's not going to be from your best friend. It's going to be from the real demons. Then you battle those tests. You win. You elevate to the next level, okay? So it is not something you need to be scared of. But the only thing that I know, this one I can guarantee 100%. If it comes to that moment where, let me say, if it gets to that stage where these demons want to eliminate you, that is when the divine is going to come in. And this is something you have to take very seriously, chosen ones. The devil is going to push you to limits. And they're going to throw different weapons at you. But when it comes to that level whereby the devil, the universe, God, your higher self, thinks that this entity wants to eliminate you, that is when the divine will step in. The divine will step in, remove you, and the divine is going to deal with that devil itself. You see, it's how that thing works, ladies and gentlemen. You need to understand these dynamics, how they work. So spiritual warfare has been hidden from you because there is entities that don't want you to know these things, you know. Because when you know these things, you can actually protect yourself better. Ascension becomes easier when you know how to protect yourself. But you don't get this kind of information pretty much around because, when you're in that state, suffering, you're waking up crying, you don't know what is going on, trauma or whatever. That is what feeds the matrix. Okay, it's what feeds those entities, because we all understand is those entities that are running things around. They are in your churches, they are your pastors, they're in your homes, in your family members, they're in your schools, they are your teachers, they are your therapists, they are your doctors, they are your politicians. So they're all over the place. But as long as they can keep you in the dark, you do not remember who you are. You cannot awaken, so you do not ascend. And then you're going to go through life like that, like a zombie. You wake up, do the thing, and wow, you're in a loop. So you cannot break out of that loop of trauma. It's a trauma loop. And there's a video that is coming soon about the trauma loop, how to break that trauma loop, okay? So yes, I've told you that, yes, when it comes, because the devil is not conscious enough to think that there is something that they cannot do. They don't have a limit as to what they can do. They just think they can do anything, It's like a couple I've told you quite a while ago, those covens of witches, and I think there was even some law enforcement in there. There was some psychopath, and a couple of flying monkeys, a couple of neighbors. They teamed up, a group. It was a group. So there was like, let's take out that chosen one. They was intending to take me out. You guys, you see me talking about things here. You don't really think I've done that work. I've walked that walk. I have battled those demons, and I still am. But now I'm on a different level of battling with them because I understand their game. I know the playbook. So they was planning to do that, okay? But the divine stepped in because that's what I've told you. When the divine, God, universe, I don't know what you want to call it, your higher self, your protectors, your ancestors, the moment they sense that it has gotten to that level, the divine will step in. And the divine takes action on your behalf. You don't need permission for this. Okay? When it comes to you protecting you at that level, the divine don't need your permission. The divine will step in naturally because the divine understands this warfare. It's happening on a spiritual level. But there will be some battle that you will fight that you will use to your advantage to strengthen you as an individual, so you can be prepared. You will be better prepared for what's coming, because we're entering a stage whereby this whole thing is going to be going on a different level. Okay, there will be no longer needed for these guns and weapons, and no need for knives. It's going to be spiritual, a war on consciousness. Okay, so the soldiers, you're in the field now. You're in the battlefield. Nothing to worry about, nothing to be afraid about, but you have to be prepared. So that's why, I come around, to enlighten you on different things, different coaches, many warriors around there teaching you different things. So you don't have to always stick to my channel. You can always go there and do different research. There's other different channels. You can learn different things from different teachers. I made specifically be talking about narcissism. Another teacher teaching you something different. You may also need. So don't always try to focus only on this channel. Try to look around, do some research. It's what I did those years, many years when I started my journey. So I was learning to different things from different teachers. Okay, there was just a couple of them, not a lot, but a couple of them, because I didn't want to get my mind too mixed up. So I got like 3 or 4 that I trust, and I was learning from them. So you're protected, is what I'm trying to say, but you have to learn the lessons. And these are not very easy lessons, I can promise you this. From experience, I know it is tough, but that is how this whole thing goes. Okay? Are we together, guys? Many chosen ones. So this video, I think what we shall do, I'll just be hinting on different things. I'm just gonna kind of like try to put some frequency in different directions. So many chosen ones are born of evil parents. So there's a reason why I'm doing this video, actually. There's something I want to mention. Now, there was a situation a couple of years ago that happened, and there was this billionaire. So this billionaire, what he used to do, this billionaire used to acquire his wealth through sacrifice. And he used to sacrifice people, the kids. I want to make sure that I don't kind of like mix up everything. And that is how he accumulated his wealth. So let's say, for example, he was putting up these tall, big buildings. For him to be able to do that, he had to sacrifice. So he was a witch. We're talking about a witch. I don't even know what level of witch he was. So he would sacrifice, but for him to be able to do this successfully and to acquire wealth and accumulate wealth, he had to do the sacrifice, blood sacrifice, okay? And he would go to those wizards, I don't know, coach, warlocks or whatever, those dark arts and everything, and they would do the sacrifice and they would put the corpse in the foundation of the building. This is something that's very difficult to say, but I will say it as it is. And this thing went on for some time. So now sometimes you see these people where, they are billionaires and, and you don't know, many of them, what they have done to get there. Sometimes when you see these people, you need to take a step back a little bit. Don't be in a hurry to think that whoever is wealthy, billionaires, they have all done the right things. There is stuff they have done that they will never talk about and you'll never see in the news. So that one was unfortunate because, somehow, karma caught up with him. Anyhow, so later on, I think after so many years, this thing took like maybe 8, 9 years, maybe even more. So the person that was involved in that ritual, that was a ritual they had to do. That person came out and spoke. He said that individual, this and this and this. So the person is like the person blew the trumpet. And that's how this person was caught. Now, in most case scenarios, chosen ones, from a very young age, you could have been born, for example, in a home where there was into those dark arts. It could not have been specifically that area, but it could be something along those lines. And there was your parents could have been involved in a cult. They was part of a cult, okay? So this is where sometimes these things get very tricky. Most of the times when you start to wake up and you're starting to do your own research and you're starting to see your parents, they look like they're involved in a cult. Sometimes maybe they have already what is that word called? Introduced you. Is that introduction or there's a word called when somebody is introduced to a cult? What is that word called? Sometimes my English is messing up a little bit. So you may be born in that family, and when you are born in that family, basically your parents are going to recognize that very fast. As a matter of fact, if you are born into a family of occultists, people who are into dark arts and stuff like that, they will actually they will know who you are from a very young age. So in most cases, what they will do, eliminating you even physically, Sebastian, we shall talk about manifestation next time. I see your question, but I think we are going to do that on the next video. So your parents will recognize that your frequency at a very young age. You see, because those occultists are very connected into the dark arts. So they know which one is the best witch in town, which one is the best psychic. So they can kind of go around and ask different questions. And even some of them, if they are highly tapped in, we know that they're not tapped into source, but they may be tapped into their arts, and they may sometimes recognize your frequency from a very young age. So they're going to get involved and they're going to go to work. So if they don't decide to get you out of the way physically, there's some that do, we know that, then it could be sometime happening on a spiritual level. It could happen on a spiritual level whereby they could what is that word called? They could break you down spiritually without having to break you physically. So you will be there, you'll be around, you'll be alive, but you'll be like a zombie. In some case scenarios, you can find families where you can see there's a family member who almost looks like a zombie. All of the other ones are doing well. These family members, they're doing their own thing, they're moving around, they get married, they do businesses, but then you will see one family member that is crippled. That is the best word I was looking for. They will cripple you spiritually. And they can cripple you at a very young age. So this can be like, for example, rituals that they could do. And like I've told you, these are people that are into the dark arts. So they may already have different ways that they could cripple you without you having to know. So for some reason, you may find yourself struggling at a very young age. Sometimes, the kids, maybe they are walking at around the 9th month, maybe 8th month. You may be a person who may fail to walk even until you're 2 years old. You can find a kid who is, they have failed to start walking. They are still moving around, crawling on the ground for 2 years, until maybe a lot of trying has been done, different therapies, and maybe they even try to walk at the age of 2 years. Or you could be sometimes, I know some people, I've heard about some people, I've even seen, where they could cripple you verbally. So those kids, for example, who will fail to speak, they will become what do they call that thing? Not deaf, but guys in the comment, let us know quickly. I'm downloading this information, so sometimes the words are, what is that thing called? There's deaf when you don't hear, and the other one is called what? Mute. Thank you, Lindsay. And now you see the kid. When they was born, everything was fine. The doctors checked everything, the kid cried, everything was okay. And then somewhere at around 3 years, the kid went mute. Now you need to be very careful, chosen one. This is a very sensitive video. And maybe you guys, you can just do me a favor if you can even share this video. It's very sensitive. You need to understand these things. Anything that the devil attacks, it has got to do with your destiny. So this video was supposed to be chosen one's experience destiny swapping at a very young age. When the devil knows that you are going to be using your voice as a part of your purpose, the devil will attack your voice. So sometimes you can find, I've told you, a kid that has been born properly, everything was okay, they checked everything, the kid cried and everything, the parents went home. Now you was born into this family of witches, covens of witches. In about 2 years, the kid went mute. Because the devil recognizes your gifts. And the devil will be like, this kid, they are anointed, and their voice is very powerful. So the devil attacks your voice. So your parents could have done things. This video is only for those people who are involved. You got parents who are very into those dark arts and witchcraft and sorcery and all that kind of dark magic. Those are the things that happen when you're chosen and you're born into those families. So what happens now, the kid will continue growing, and then you may see sometimes at around the age, maybe 3 years, maybe 2, 3 years, something like that, the kid goes mute. and your kid will stop talking. They cannot say anything. They are just mute. You don't understand what is happening. And now you're running around with these doctors. Oh, you know what happened? Oh, now the doctors are going to find these other different names, some labels there. Oh, you know, something, they are going to say something very scientific or biological. And it has nothing to do with science. It is spiritual. The voice has been stolen by the devil. So the kids go mute. There's case scenarios whereby you can have a normal child, they are growing up, you have a happy home, family, and something just happens on the way, the kid goes deaf. It can be something that is very important. It can be a message that that kid was meant to receive, but the kid needed ears, needed hearing, that needed to hear it at some point in their life on their journey. And the kid was attacked at a young age, and the devil blocked the kid's hearing abilities. This thing can keep on going on and on and on. It can be a case of we have deaf, we have mute. It can be crippled physically. The devil would know that, okay, so this kid is going to be traveling different nations, helping different souls and saving people. The devil will cripple the kid. At some stage, 1 year, 2 years, you see something happening, then, something happened to the leg or whatever. There can be different things. And of course, sometimes you can go and try to find medical explanations for these things. And they are going to always put some name. Oh, this disease is called so and so because, something with the immunity and something. There's always going to be names for those things. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is spiritual. The child was meant to use their legs to travel around the world, help people, do this or do that. And then, because the devil saw the destiny of that child at a very young age, through the parents, they cripple the child, even physically. There can be sometimes cases whereby a person could have a destiny whereby they was going to give birth to a generation of high vibrational souls. It could be the destiny of that child. It's a girl, for example. You know what the devil did? The devil made that child barren. Everything that you see is spiritual. When you are chosen, you're already the devil's number one enemy, because anything to do with your frequency is exactly what the devil hates. A lot of the times, you guys, you have to be very careful. Parents especially, okay? You have to always pray for your children. You have to pray for your children from the very moment before you even leave. As soon as your child is born, straight away, lay their hands on those children, pray for them. His wife told that it's going to be worse when you are born in a family of witches. The mom is a witch, the father is a warlock, this one is a wizard, and they're always moving up and down in those occult practices. They cannot protect the child. It's not possible. The demons cannot allow the parents to protect that child because the child is already born in the evil family. Yes, we understand that they are the curse breakers, because that is something that is also why the devil attacks those children the most, because the devil understands. In the womb, you have to pray for the child while the child is still in the womb. You have got to pray for that child while in the womb. There's times when you see people, they are going around, I don't even know what people are trying to do. I don't understand this generation, what is going on in the world. People is pregnant and you just go around and you want the whole world to know you're pregnant. You're showing your pictures on social media. Oh, I'm pregnant. All these people coming, they are putting their hands on your stomach. For what? People coming around and they are coming around with all these big smiles, and you think they are your friends. Oh, you're pregnant. Oh, we hope you're going to be okay. You're going to have a nice child. They are casting spells while the child is in the womb. If you have a child, you're expecting a child, you ladies out there, you're expecting a child. You are the man who is, you have a wife expecting a child. You are the one who is supposed to protect your wife at every cost. Everybody else comes and they want to see, they want to measure the stomach, or, apart from the health professionals, because, you can always go and do your checkup. But even then you have to pray. Everything is, you have to pray, ladies and gentlemen, because now where we are, these things have been happening, but it's because nobody was talking about them. Things have been happening in spirit for a very long time, but it's just now that we are starting to understand spiritual warfare. So the child could have been crippled, even when the child was in the womb. And then you born a child, they are missing a leg, they are deaf, something is mute or what, and you don't know what is happening. It's because you was going around on social media, you are putting your pregnancy on Twitter, Instagram, and everything. You're showing everybody you're expecting a child. Who wants to know these things? Ladies, really. So you have to be careful now as we live, because now we are the ones that are starting to wake up and understanding how spiritual warfare has been actually operating behind the scenes. A lot of you chosen ones, your destiny was tampered with when you were still in the womb, is what I'm trying to say. So now you're a woman, you have hit your 30s, you've hit your 40s, you are there, you are like, okay, so what is going on? No man wants to marry you. Everybody tries to come around, they will, entangle with you a little bit, they will disappear. They will stay with you 1-2 weeks, they are gone. Some of them even marry you. So there used to be a woman I used to see back then. I used to understand many years ago. So there was this lady, very beautiful woman, beautiful woman, really. You would not believe how many men have been dating this woman. Beautiful woman, mature one. But you wouldn't believe how many men would date the woman and they would just leave her there after 1 month, they disappear. They will date the woman, after 2 months, they disappear. Some of them even marry the woman, after 1 month, they run away. Many of you guys chosen ones, I can tell you something that you didn't know already. A lot of the times, your destiny has been tampered with at early age. Some of you, even when you was in the womb. A person could just come and they say that child, they could not tell you this. They would come like guests. Oh, you are, what do they call it? We came to check on you, to bring for you these, I don't know what they call them. They call them baby showers or what? What do they call those things? So everybody comes with different things and whatever, and they are going to start coming around, pouring different stuff in your child's room. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. We are battling spiritual warfare. Many of you chosen ones, your destiny has already been tampered with from a young age. There's women who sometimes they get pregnant. When they go to hospital, the child is dead. They go to hospital, next one, the child is dead. I know one woman, she lost like 3 or 4 of them. Every pregnancy terminated. Because God is trying to use your womb to birth a chosen one. So the devil is fighting. The woman gets pregnant, miscarriage. After 2 months, gone. Some of them at birth, child is dead. It is real warfare, ladies and gentlemen. So sometimes when you're growing up, you have to know. Many of you guys can walk back in time so many years ago and you remember you will know that there is something wrong. There is something always has been messy about your life. There is just something you couldn't put a finger on. How come that everything you used to do, most of the time you were struggling? There's nothing else you are the most isolated person in your family, the most hated one in your family. When it comes to relationship, demon after demon. When you finish with the psychopath, the narcissist walked in. Some of you, even to get married, it was a battle until you had to really, really, really pray very hard and work on yourself. Then maybe you found a man to marry you. Even the one that married you, maybe they left after 2 years. Something has been happening along your journey. One of the things you will learn as a chosen one that is going to be very vital on your journey, there's two things. One, you will take some time to heal. When you've done the work of healing, many of you guys who have had with me sessions, we have been talking about this thing during the sessions. How does the healing of the empath work out? How does it work? That is what I normally teach people. Two, you're going to call back your destiny. You're going to call back your destiny. Now, let me tell you something very wicked. Sometimes, when you're born of evil parents, they have already swapped destinies with you. You see, do you know what they call it, destiny swapping? Because there's a person around you that is not connected to source. So they cannot tap into source. They do not have that access to source. They are extremely low vibrational. They are operating in very low vibrational frequencies. So for them to be able to manifest anything is why I've given you the story of that billionaire who used to, very big guy in town, with all this money and everything, but he used to sacrifice, blood sacrifice. That's what was his foundation of his money. So you could have had people, like at a young age, your parents, for example, and your parents knew you had great destiny. So maybe they went to their gods. They always have those gods. Their deities, deities, whatever deities they believe in. They went to their deities and they asked them, what do we do to get wealthy, to be rich? So their deities told them, you guys know these stories, they're very familiar, especially you guys in Africa. The deities told them, okay, if you can give us that soul, you will get the money you need. Because that soul has got very great destiny. But we can move in advance and we can switch that destiny towards you, but you need to give us that soul. So your parents, this thing I'm telling you, and it's very serious. Your parents did a destiny swap when you was a child. So you were seeing your parents swimming in money, a lot of them. I'm not saying all. It's not everybody who is wealthy that they are doing dark arts and everything. So this video is for the ones who get it will get it. But me, I've told you that as long as you're chosen and you was born into a family of covens, there's a very big chance your destiny was swapped at birth. So there is things they did. The devil just told them, oh, we give this and you give us that. You give this and you give us that. They ask for a soul. So it's where sometimes you see, you can sometimes meet families and you find a child that is crippled. They are crippled, they are deaf, they are mute. I've been giving you examples. They are mute, they are what? Even some of them are crippled physically. And you just don't know what happened to the child. The parents are there, not all parents, there could be one of them that did this thing and the other one may not know, for example, And maybe it was could be a good mother, loves their parent, but they could have a wicked father, for example, and the mother went to different hospitals, they didn't find a solution. They don't know what happened to their child. Their destiny was tampered with by the wicked father. Or maybe the destiny was tampered with by the wicked mother. It's even worse when it's a wicked mother. So, when you're chosen, it is very vital. Guys, I'm going to need a moderator very soon. Okay? So when you're a child, so if you see me removing some comment, you have to know that it's inappropriate. So I block and I remove. I've told you there are some bots sometimes. So you guys are together. I need so guys, if you want to moderate, please email me, but you need to be a member, is what I said. You have to be a member of the channel. So Chikawo found out destiny was swapped at 13 years. So destiny swappers are really very horrible people. Because you see, sometimes when you're suffering and you're struggling, and you just can't seem to find the reason why you're struggling. You cannot get married, you cannot have children, all your businesses fail, you're just moving in circles. And the wicked ones are sitting in your destiny. They are the ones who are enjoying the benefits of what is meant for you. They're the ones who are married, all of a sudden, they are rich and everything. They're the ones traveling the world. They have big families. You, the owner of the destiny, you're struggling. A person that wants to stop, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. A person that attempts, not even once, attempts or even does it, destiny with you, swap, that person wants you dead. A person that intentionally, I'm talking about intentionally, there's sometimes destiny swapping happens unintentionally. Maybe you just slept with a demon you didn't know, so something started happening around. Or maybe you just entangled too long with somebody that you was not meant to. It could happen at that way as well. But when a person intentionally swaps destinies with you and they're trying to swap destinies with you, intentionally, you're dealing with a witch. So that witch wants access to your energy. But to get access to your energy, they need to destroy you first. So they get access to your energy. So that's how they cripple you. You guys have got to call you guys have got to get into the habit of calling your destiny. You have to start calling back your power. You have got to call back your power at every cost. We are living in a world super chat from, let's take some time to appreciate the super chatters. Lighthouse, $10. Thank you so much. So there's our Christian friend here, Koango. Do you believe Jesus Christ, the Holy Trinity? So that's that one. I can just tell from the comments you're a very religious person. Much love and respect. Jesus Christ is and what he did for us, and you will go to heaven no matter what. Yeah, that's the gospel. So you're a very Christian person. No, what do they call it? No, much respect for you, much love to you and respect. But pretty much here we pretty much tackle spiritual issues. Okay, it may not necessarily be in the religious way that you want to hear, but it's really much from a spiritual perspective. So this is not the same thing. Okay. This channel will pretty much dive a little bit deeper into spirituality, but we also have a lot of love and respect for religious people. Okay, so this is not like Jesus Christ, Holy Trinity, and go to heaven. No, we go to the roots, the basics of spirituality, and what you need to understand. Okay, but much love and respect, and thank you for the super chat. So that thing of destiny swap is dangerous. So basically, what I want to let me say this, guys. So if you find my channel and you are from a very religious background, you need to learn things that you need to take with you on your journey, because there may be things that will teach you that may not be coming from your church. So I may be able to teach you something that you may not have had in your church, but are going to help you. So learn what you need to learn and take with it with you on your journey, because it will help you. You may not hear me talking about Jesus, religion. Sometimes when I can talk about, every now and then I may mention the scripture, but I'm not pretty much diving very deep into religion, because I want to help you guys to understand the foundation of spirituality. I take you to the root of what has always been happening. You best understand spirituality, because this is not something they teach you in school. It's why I teach you a lot of things. It may not be in a religious sense, but it may be in a sense that is going to really, really help you along your journey. You have been tampered with. Your destiny was tampered with, like I've said, for a very long time, since you was a kid. It can be your parents. Maybe, for example, you had spiritual babe, much appreciation. So we have some super chats today. Thanks for the love, guys. Thanks for the love. So the next time you see somebody, you're walking around the streets, and you just see somebody, they are struggling with they tell you they are mute. Some of them they say they are deaf. There's a lot of things. Some of them are blind. They was born with sight, and then they went blind for some reason. There is things that was happening. So when it comes to spiritual attacks, it does not matter what religion you are. So that's the thing I've realized along my journey. When it comes to spiritual attacks against chosen ones, it doesn't have nothing to do with the religion. You can pray in which language is comfortable for you, in which religion works for you. You can decide to plead the blood of Jesus. You may decide to read the Psalms. If you're spiritual, you will also pray in your own way. Different ways to pray is going to be the same result. Okay? Spiritual person may pray a different way. Religious person will pray a different method. It is going to be the same results, I can guarantee you. So what you guys need to understand, when we're dealing with spiritual warfare, it has got no boundaries on where the attack is going, where the people that attacked. This thing has got no boundaries with who it attacks. The devil doesn't have boundaries. You are Muslim, it will attack. You are whatever faith, whatever Hindu, Buddha, it will attack you, regardless of what religion you believe. So you always have to make sure that you pray in the language and the religion and the faith that resonates with you. The results will always be the same. Okay? So that's how that whole thing works. Chosen ones, they suffer for a very long time. A lot of chosen ones have been suffering for a very long time. But the reason of your suffering, I've told you, it has been due to the destiny that has been assigned on your life. The devil has been attacking you because of the destiny that has been assigned to your life. You guys that are starting to wake up, you now realize the reason as to why. For a very long time, ever since you was a child, many years ago, you've been attacked. Even the people that didn't even know your name. I've done a video recently and I've told you. There is even people that have been attacking you. They did not even know your name. They don't know where you live. They don't know what you do. They don't know anything about your family, and they just attack you. Just like that. It has been happening. The only thing is that you was not paying attention. You was not awake. It's why I've told you. The first thing the devil does is to put you to sleep. You're not supposed to know what's happening. I woke up from a narcissistic family dynamic when I was 40. Now you can imagine how long I was sleeping all my life. How long was I sleeping? I was sleeping for 40 years. That is how long it was. Then one day I woke up and I said, oh, so this whole thing we call family is not really family. This whole thing is a matrix. Family is a matrix. Not all family, but some family is matrix. It's just matrix, just to keep you more confused. So I took back my power. I was like, okay, so there's no more nonsense. This whole family thing is crap. I took back my power. I refused to participate in dysfunction because I could finally understand what that thing they call family. I would finally understand what it was. I took back my power. One of the things you need to understand, chosen ones, the people that don't live in the light, the people that do not embody light, they need your energy to survive. In the recent video I did, I told you, the chosen one, you are the narcissist's life support. You have always been. You wasn't aware of it. You wasn't paying attention. You have been the narcissist's life support. These narcissists, they are feeding on your energy. They cannot generate energy on their own. Sometimes when you meet those narcissists, some of them, not all, there are some of them who know how to hide it, like the women, you know, sometimes you meet those women, the way they will patch that makeup on their face, you will not see everything. But if you are very keen enough to see, and you can look through the veil, you will see that this person you're talking to, there is something, entity attached to them. They don't have life. You know, they are feeding. When they go home, they feed on their wives and their whatever, different sources, whatever. But you will see that they lack the light. You will know that they are lacking the light. They lack that light, you know? Many of you guys, I've told you guys, I have a lot of love for, I used to be a religious person. You know, I've told you my family was religious. So, you know, churching and all those things, the hymns and everything. I know it all, I've been there. But here you are, and I'm the one teaching you the real stuff you need to know. It's not coming from your pastors in church. I'm the one teaching you the real stuff you have to know. So, this channel, we have people from everywhere. My channel is open. I don't have to say that, oh, you know, because we are religious, so, you know, I cannot stop other members from coming to get information because they're from different faiths. The channel is open. Spirituality is about unity, and we see everything as one. Whoever comes in, they can learn something, you come in. If it's too hard for you, too intense, you stay away, okay? It's open. But those entities, those people, like I've said, the low vibration individuals, they are not connected to source. So they need energy to survive. It does not matter who you are. You are their daughter, you are their son, you are their family. It does not matter who you are. Even you guys in the churches. Many of you guys, a lot of those people, your leaders, they have swapped destinies with you. You didn't even know that. It could have been conscious or unconscious. You know me, I tell you the truth. The truth is very difficult. It's a double-edged sword. So sometimes I can say something and you can get triggered because I'm telling you the truth. A time has come now where we have got to reevaluate everything. We have got to start asking some questions. There's a lot of people that have been suffering. They was entangled with the wrong church. And they have been suffering all their life. They didn't even know where the suffering was coming from. I had a chat with somebody, and that was the situation. The problem was in the church. There was members, they would do everything, but the problem was their own pastor in church. So, you have got to understand, chosen ones. You have got to understand your spirituality. You have got to realize what has been taken from you, and you have got to call it back. You have got to call back your destiny. And yes, it's going to be very difficult. I've told you, when you start that habit of calling back your power and everything, you have got to know that there is some people that are going to go down. Because they have been feeding on your energy for the longest of time. So you now need your energy, because you have to now start ascending and doing things for yourself, growing, elevating, creating different stuff. You need your energy. You need your energy back, because now it's time for you to grow and create and go do different things. You did not come here to serve other people with energy. Some of them have even just taken it by force. So you call back your energy, but at the same time, you have to know there is going to be consequences when you call back your power. There is people that are going to go down. That is something that is going to be very difficult, but you have to prepare for it. Did you know the reason why some destiny swappers end up dead? Now I'm asking you the real question, chosen ones. Do you know the reason as to why some destiny swappers, they end up dead? You guys have to understand spirituality. Did you know the reason as to why those people that attempt to steal your destiny and swap destinies with you, do you know why they end up dead? Because some of them can try to swap destinies with you and they do not know the intensity and where that destiny is coming from. The only thing you need is to wake up and call back your destiny. You will see. You will hear the announcements, and they are going to come in fast. You call back your destiny, you will see. I've told you guys, start calling back your power. Do the healing, call back your power, you will see. You are going to see corpses of people that you used to know. Oh, what happened to so and so? What happened? It's going to look like something like, it's something that you can't even understand what it is. And then as you keep on understanding, you will get the awareness that those are the things, the people that used to actually, they had swapped destinies with you. They were the closest people to you. The world is spiritual. I'm very grateful to the universe now that we understand this thing on a different level, a level that was hidden from us, that we couldn't see many years ago. Now we're able to understand what has been happening behind the scenes. Many of you guys, I've told you, many of you guys come from families of witches. Those, warlocks, narcissists, whatever. You don't know half of the things they have been doing. Behind the scenes that you didn't even know. The moment I woke up one day and I realized what has been happening behind the scenes, I was very shocked. So sometimes you see these black sheep, they wake up and they leave their family. Oh, you cannot leave your family. People are going to start telling you those things. Oh, you cannot leave your family. Oh, because, whatever. Oh, it's your family. What? So what are you supposed to do with a dysfunctional family? What are you meant to do? What are you expected to do with a dysfunctional family? Narcissistic family. What are you supposed to do? Continue feeding them, or get out and help yourself. What are you supposed to do with that kind of dysfunction? The scapegoats, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, it was understandable before you didn't know what was happening, but now that you know, what are you going to do? You have a choice, ladies and gentlemen. You have a choice. But again, I've told you, the moment you choose, you decide to call back your destiny, there is people that are going to go down. That one I have to guarantee you. And it does not matter what it is. Who it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they were to you. As long as they have been tapped into your destiny, they're going down. Because whatever they stole from you is getting back to its original vessel. Whatever destiny they stole from you is being called back to the original vessel. So which means they have nothing left. They are going down. This one, you have to prepare for this. Many destiny swappers don't want you to know. They don't want you to know who you are. So they will very much try to hide you from who you are so that you will never find out. People swap destinies for money. Money is the number one. A lot of those people, you see them, they want to be the richest man in town. Many of them are destiny swappers. People swap destinies for fame. There's people that want fame to be fame. Well, they wanted the whole world to know them. I don't know why somebody want the whole world to know them by force. People want the world to know them by force. They want to be famous by force. So they are going to swap destiny with somebody so that the entire world will know them. Some of them even sell their soul so the whole world can know them. What other word do I have to use to define narcissism at its best? People swap destinies for health. You can find a witch, their body is rotting away. So they are fighting to live, because I've told you these people, they're not connected to source. And as long as they don't have that energy flowing in, their bodies will decompose and they will be gone in no time. So they also swap destinies to live. Is why sometimes you see this old woman, you used to see this old woman. The next time you see the woman looking like they are 10 years young, and you're thinking, so what happened to this woman? Is it makeup, or did they all of a sudden remember to take care of themselves? No. It was a witch. They swapped destinies to reverse age, to get younger. And the person that they swap destinies with, they are aging at a rate they have never seen before. Sometimes you can find a person that is supposed to be like 20 years, let's say 30, and they look like they are 50. And then you can find a person who is supposed to be like 70, 60, they're looking like they're 40 years, 30 years old. Is why they call destiny swap. You're swapping, you swap. So what is supposed to happen to them, it happens to you. What is meant for you, it happens for them. It happens to them. It's swapping destinies. Okay? Sometimes it cannot work. I've told you, not all destinies can be swapped. This is very important. Write this down. It is not all destinies can be swapped. Some can be. Some destinies cannot be swapped. A person, I've told you, can end up on their deathbed because they have attempted to destiny swap with the wrong person. Every chosen one doesn't hold the same weight in spirit, okay? Your anointing is equivalent to your divine assignment. The anointing you have is also equivalent to your divine assignment. They cannot give you too much and you cannot have too less. So a person could have done a destiny swap with the wrong person, and it will just be a matter of time until they see their deathbed, because they are dealing with the wrong team completely. It's a completely different team. Sometimes there's people you cannot mess. You see, some people they weigh you depending on who you are on this physical, the body. You know, they see you, they know your name, so they know how you move a little bit. They can think they know you, but they don't actually understand who you are on the spiritual level. On the spiritual level, you will be that frequency they wish they did not even meet in their life, because you hold a lot of weight. So you could have had a parent, for example, who has been feeding off of your energy since you was a kid. The moment you awakened, so is what you guys need to understand. These entities, what they do, the number one thing they need to do is to keep you as asleep as they can, because that is where their power lies, to keep you asleep so that you don't remember. They are very scared when you remember. There is no being, entity, that wants you to wake up. Because when you awaken, it's game over. They understand fully, when you awaken, it's game over. It's the reason why you see they try, you know. I've told you I had a conversation with somebody that used to belong to a certain church. Members, they would sing, they're the ones who were cleaning the church, until how many years later did they realize that the pastor was a demon? Their own pastor in the church was a demon. As long as you do not wake up, they're okay. When you awaken, it's game over for them. It's what I've told you, sometimes people can swap destinies with you and they will never know what hit them. The next day they will be announced dead and they don't know what hit them. But sometimes it can happen where somebody can actually cripple you. They can cripple you. At a very tender age, they can cripple you, so they can keep you in that state. You are there, existing physically, but spiritually you are dead, because they are using your energy, okay? So they cripple you spiritually, and you will be there like a walking zombie. It's like you're just moving around, you don't know what is happening, whatever, you're just there. You're there, but you're not there. You're there physically, but you're not there spiritually. The reason why they cripple you spiritually, because that is how they can keep you asleep, so you never remember. The only thing that will terrify them is when you remember. When you remember, that's what I remembered. And this thing is very serious, guys. Take notes. Many of you guys that are waking up from narcissistic family units, dysfunctional family matrices, those families that are carrying a lot of trauma, that they are recycling cycles, generational cycles after cycle. The ones of you that are waking up, the black sheep, many of you guys, your parents, they never wanted you to understand what was happening. They never wanted you to never wanted you to know what it was. Is the reason as to why They have been running away from shame. They have been running away from this cycle. So the only way they could temporarily have relief is when they would come back and they start scapegoating you around, beating you around, closing you out of the house, whatever, punishing and everything. You didn't do anything wrong. You was just battling with the dysfunctional people. You didn't do nothing wrong. So you grew up asking yourself, what did I do? Oh, why my father didn't like me? Sometimes I talk with people, they say, oh, my mother never liked me, the father didn't like me. You did not do anything wrong. You was just dealing with the wrong people. So this channel, I validate you. I help you understand there was never anything wrong with you from day one. Many of you guys, you have been dealing with the wrong families. You've been battling these demons. You was brought up to believe there was something wrong with you. Your parents, many times they would wake up, oh, what is wrong with you? Stupid this and stupid that. So they continue to beat you down. So you could stay in that frequency, the trauma loop. Because if you can stay in that trauma loop, they can continue to siphon your energy. The more you continue to stay in that trauma loop, they continue to siphon your energy. When you wake up, it's game over for them. So they kept you blind. They wanted you blind, you know. Did you guys know why many times when you're dealing with these narcissistic people, do you know the reason as to why? Do you know the reason as to why when you wake up, when you're awakened, do you know why the narcissist runs away from you? Do you know why? The moment you snap and you wake up like this, do you know the reason? The first thing the narcissist will do is run away. Even at least even if it takes for a week, even if it's necessary for even a month, they won't run away and disappear, first of all. When you awaken, they are going to run. That is because you remember. That is the thing they was afraid of the most. They never wanted you to remember. So a person that has been swapping destinies with you, and this thing I'm normally talking, I'm putting a lot of emphasis on families, but it can be so many scenarios of your life. But this one, I'm kind of specifically trying to talk about families because that's where the initial problem started. So the one that swapped destinies with you, whatever they did, they stole your energy, they stole your destiny, they stole your power, they stole your whatever they stole from you was connected to your destiny. The best they could do is to keep you asleep. So they would continue to make you forget, you will never remember what was going on. So it's why they continue to gaslight you. Your own parents used to gaslight you. Whenever you try to climb up to be free, to build something, they would come around and kick you back down. They wanted you always to be down. Oh, but Dad, I want to do this. I want to go to pilot school. I want to go maybe do medical school. I want to do this. No. You're going to go there, do this way, or you're going to do that. They would always continue to come around and mess you up with a lot of things. So you would lose. So that is distraction. So you could lose focus because focus would make you awaken and you remember. And when you remember, eventually you call back your destiny. And they know that it's game over for them. Many times you guys, you awaken, and the first thing you see, you will experience, it is like something beat down that narcissist. You don't even know what happened to that narcissist. It's how you know that you've been dealing with the edge vampire. Because sometimes you wake up and you start to, be aware of everything, you remember things, you work on yourself. Okay, so this one. So eventually you call back your power. Even before you call back your power, the narcissist is already rotting away. You are going to see them in about a year, maybe a couple of months. It depends on if they have got the new supply. Sometimes they may not get the new supply quickly. And the narcissist is aging at a speed you've never seen before. They're aging at 100 kilometers an hour. Sometimes they're looking like, you had this narcissist you was dealing with, maybe they are 30. You see them after 6 months, they look like they are 50 years old or something. It's like something is eating them up. You don't even know what is eating them up. They was feeding on your energy. is what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, awareness is powerful. Chosen ones, your awareness is your freedom, is power. For many of you guys, families, you have somebody, you have to protect your children. You have got to protect your children. You are there, you have a pregnant mother, expecting mother. Don't let anybody come and just they are putting their fingers on your wife's belly because they want to feel the child. Oh, let me see, maybe they are kicking. Do not allow that nonsense. It does not work like that. Your eyes have to be 24 hours on your child. Many of you guys, I'm talking about the families who are here, maybe you have husband, wife, married, whatever. Because I'm telling you the things that we didn't understand when we was younger. So now we understand and we know what we need to do. Okay? Because we need to break this cycle. These cycles have to be broken. So they do not repeat. Okay? And for the ones of you guys, we have somebody from Mexico. Yeah, okay. Thank you. That is T-Euro. I don't know how to read that one. T-Euro something? T-Euro? Hey, they feed off of our light, So like I've told you guys, I'm going to need a moderator. Sometimes it's hard for me to know who is writing what. The comments are so many. So that you can remove the nasty comments, okay? When you see those nasty comments, but it has to be a member. I need somebody who is a member, is what I'm trying to say. You have to be a member because I think there's something, I don't know how YouTube works, but as I saw, it requires membership. So you have to be like in our membership team. And I've got a very good team from South Africa. You guys have really supported me, you South Africa. I have a nice team from South and US. I think my biggest fans, subscribers, I think they're from US. And I've got a very big team also from South Africa. So you guys who don't know, thank you for the donation. Ricky, thank you, appreciate you, $20. Shouts out to you. Much love and respect for the super chatters, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. So you see what has been happening really, guys, we need to understand. The world as we know it has not been working the same way we thought it was, because there was a lot of things we didn't understand. Not because we didn't want to understand, but because we did not have the right people to tell us what was happening. That's how it is, So now that we're starting to become aware, the ones who know, we come and teach, we help you. Because for me being here is a reminder. A lot of you guys have to understand. I cannot teach you things I do not know. So me being here is a reminder that I've already walked that journey, I've been there. So this is a reminder and the confirmation that I understand you. So this is validation for you, okay? So if a person you are beating yourself up, I don't know, what do I do? Maybe it's only me. No, it is not only you. You see all these people in the chat, all of them, they're like you. We have all been in this thing together. So, chosen ones, it is very vital for you to protect yourself. You have got to understand what you're fighting. You have got to understand the battle you're dealing with. It is spiritual. Destiny swapping is real. There is entities on this universe that the only thing they know how to do very well, they have mastered all their life, is how to destiny swap with people. Okay? So sometimes you are there and you're thinking, oh, why can't I get married? But all of a sudden you're seeing this so-called bestie. They're the ones getting married. You don't know what is happening to you. How come that you tried this business, it didn't work? In 2 months, even a month, maybe even less, the last person who came to visit your home, that same business you was talking about, they have opened that business and it's working. You know? How come that, oh, how come I don't lose weight? What is happening to my weight? Hey, that fat friend of yours who was in your house 2 months ago, the next time you see us looking like a model, you are still struggling with weight. There is something they call destiny swapping. Something happens when people consciously or unconsciously do things to swap your destiny. There is things that you want, desires that happen to them, and the opposite happens to you, continues happening to you. You know? Knowledge is power. They don't want us to teach you these things, but knowledge is power. You know? So we are also on TikTok. If you want to follow me on TikTok, there are times when I'm there doing some lives, but the lives are different. I think the energy is a different type of energy on TikTok usually. So if you want to follow us on TikTok, please do. We also do lives there. We talk about different stuff. So how to call back destiny? How to call back destiny? There's a video on my channel. Just go and type on my videos, call back your power, stroke destiny. In my videos list, you will see it. You cannot miss it. The frequency is vibration. So one of the other things you need to do, so when you're trying to call back your power, is to raise your frequency. Not all frequencies, not all promises can be swapped. That's also a very powerful one, Lighthouse. So you have to raise your personal energy, personal frequency as a person, okay? Connect with Mother Earth. That's where the secret is. Connect with the earth. Get your feet on the ground. Yes, your neighbors will laugh at you. People will think you're crazy. Don't care about it. Put your feet on the ground and connect. Go hug a tree. Go walk on the beach. I don't know what it is you need to do. Anything you can do to connect with Gaia. That's where the secret is. To raise your vibration. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that when you're trying to connect with nature. There's nothing wrong with connecting with nature. It's free. So like I always tell you guys, on this channel is love. There's nothing religion here. We are not about who is which religion, who is that faith. I don't care. You're Muslim, you're Christian, you what. If you want the truth, you're welcome. Because here is about truth. It has nothing to do with what you believe or what, which scriptures you read. I can decide to give you a Bible concept because I told that I studied in the Catholic school. So, I know some scriptures. There are some things I know. I don't know the whole Bible, but I know some things. But at the same time, I also understand that there is people from different faiths. There's nothing wrong, you know. Nobody's walking on the window. Sometimes I like having a look around. Nobody's knocking on the window. So those covens, there are many types of covens. By me, I don't like those. I don't. Anything associated with those things, coven this and which groups and which one, I don't like those kind of things because those are the problem. They have always been the problem. It's why people are suffering because of those kind of groups like that. Then so I have a question. How do you connect shop to YouTube? I don't know which, what is it called? That thing is called, I don't know what site you're using. There is Teespring and I think there is Spreadshop. So I don't know which one you're using. So on Spreadshop, when you go to the settings, they will tell you to put in your YouTube links and they will link them together. There's a way how I also struggled with it a little bit in the beginning, but I figured it out. Go to Spreadshop, or you can go to. So when you have Teespring, I don't know which one you're using, or Spreadshop. So you go there, make your profile, everything. When you finish, create your profile. Then you go to YouTube settings in the studio somewhere, and I think they will tell you to attach, to link, to put the link of your Spreadshop, your Spreadshop link on the YouTube. So you do it in the settings. There's a way how you do it in the settings, but you need a profile first on Teespring or Spreadshop. Then you can go to YouTube Studio settings, and they'll ask you to connect your link, the site, the link to your Spreadshop. So empaths, this is a wake-up call to make you understand that you are hard. So this channel, I remind you that you are hard, and I remind you so not all families are bad families. There are some families, sometimes when you hear me, because me, I'm talking from experience, but I never come here to tell you that all families are bad families. No. There's families that are normal families. They do normal things, they love each other, they support each other, they do not abuse each other still. There's normal families around, they are there. They are normal families. But me, because I talk from experience so that I can teach you things, is what I'm trying to say. So the ones who have been lucky have been, lived, born in those families. Everything was okay. They grew up normally. There was no problem. Jesus was a gangster. Lovely Grant. Jesus was a warrior, you know, chosen warrior. Do you recommend leaving the city of NAC parents? I would think so, yes. It would be, but if you can, it depends on your situation. You may be struggling a little bit, but if you can, you have somewhere else, yes, it would be nice to. Okay. Denzo, you're doing a great, terrific job. Thank you. That is love. Love Ali, protected by God. Hey, do some research, Destiny Swap. There are a couple of videos there you can learn. You will find that Destiny Swap on a lot of channels on TikTok. We need more black men like you. Hey. Are you on TikTok? There's a couple of teachers on TikTok as well. YouTube these days is a little bit, maybe because people are kind of like, there's some nice teachers as well there. So if you're a channel member and you wish to moderate, please DM me, send me an email. There is times when I'm not checking all the comments, and sometimes I don't want people, I don't want those bots to come and put nasty comments on our platform. So YouTube has got guidelines. Many creators, they know that there is things that they don't want to, you cannot say, or, because it's a public platform, so it's a good thing to, especially nasty stuff. We have some people from Amsterdam, Gypsy. tie. 111. Okay, guys, thank you very much. 2 hours, I think that's it. What do you say, guys? Let's call it an evening, right? So thank you for participating, the gifters, the likers, the commenters, the listeners. Thank you for your time. I appreciate everyone and each and every one of you. And I will see you guys in our next one, okay?